return to government to restore ourselves. We put our faith in Almighty God. You voted to make America great again. We are making America greater than ever before, and it's happening before your eyes. We will rekindle new faith in our values, new pride in our history, and a new spirit of unity that can only be realized through love for our great country. The American people voted to reject this corrupt globalism. This is the most important election in the history of our country. And yet, despite all of our greatness as a nation, everything we have achieved is now in danger. We will never give up. We will never concede. It doesn't happen. And when I'm reelected, the best is yet to come.
Live from America, you're listening to the Hip Hop Patriot, Jeremy Herrell.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, one and all. It is 11 a.m. Eastern Time from the Live Free or Die Granite State of New Hampshire. This is Live from America, and I am your ever so humble, God-fearing, but definitely God-loving, patriotic host, Jeremy Herrell, and you may know me as the Hip Hop Patriot. Thank you so very much. Today is April 15th, year of our Lord. Today is tax day, and it is also the 10th anniversary of the Tea Party, of when the Tea Party first made that big movement. And I got to say, the Tea Party made a heck of a stride. They did a great job. And I think they did a better job than any other party that ever tried to really, rival the two major party system that I do not like, and I wish we didn't have to begin with. There should not be a D or an R in front of your name. It should just be your name. John Doe, this is what I stand for. Jane Smith, this is what I stand for, period. Because when you put the D or the R in front of somebody's name, it just is like people are judging the book by the cover. And also, it kind of takes away from who you are and what you stand for. And it immediately puts you into this bubble that you have to live in. So a big shout out to the people who started the Tea Party 10 long years ago. And, ladies and gentlemen, we are 99 days into military occupation, almost 100 days now of military occupation in our nation's capital, on our nation's soil. There is still barbed wire around the Capitol building with no evidence to support it. And we are also 322 days into 15 days to slow the spread. That's crazy. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. I would like to give some live shout outs to those who are watching on YouTube right now and those who are watching on JeremyHerrell.com. Renee Cook says, love your show. My mother's name is Renee, so I love your name. How about that? Thank you for loving the show. Lydia Schallhammer from the great state of Michigan. Elisa Warner is watching from the birthplace of the United States, Pennsylvania. Well, at least the birthplace of the Declaration of Independence anyway. Dale Bailey watching from Pennsylvania as well. Louis Poe watching from Pennsylvania as well. Steven Sussin says, yay, got the first like. You get a gold star for the day, Steven. Dana Christensen says, good morning, brother Jeremy, from beautiful California behind enemy lines. Boy, are you correct on that one. Shauna says, good morning, Jeremy. Let's scroll down here. Let's get some newcomers that just came in. And if you are new to the show and you're wondering why I wear sunglasses, well, just go back and watch the last, year of the show and you'll understand why. Let's see. Adolfo Adolfo Aguayo Adolfo Aguayo says, good morning, my boy from Cali. Teresa Shelley is watching from Utah. And Kevin Wilson. Speaking of Kevin Wilson, I'm just going to give you a shout. I mean, this means that I already got you. So let's just show what you sent me. Kevin Wilson sent me a great shirt. And I think he sent it to me because of a statement that I had made on one of the Live from Americas, because I told you that I am from the Midwest as well. And I grew up calling soda pop, okay? And he sent me this shirt that says, we call it pop, not soda. Boy, are you correct. Let me tell you a quick story about when I first moved here and called it pop. I was at some friend's house. Shout out Vicky Schaefer. Good to see you. She's from Maryland. I was at a friend's house and they had a pool. They have an in-ground pool. And I don't know, I was young. I was still in my late teens, maybe early 20s when I moved here. And I said to the lady that owns the house wanted to go inside and get everybody something to drink. And she says, can I get everybody anything? And everybody said what they wanted. And I said, I'll just have some pop, please. And everybody turned their heads like this and looked at me. And she looks at me like this and she says, we don't allow pot at my house. And I said, no, not pot. I said, I'd like some pop, please. And she goes, and I said, soda? And she goes, oh, okay. I thought you said you wanted some pot. I said, no, I don't want any pot. Thank you. Thank you for the offer. No, I just want some pop. Oh, what a great story. Wendy Farrell is watching from Indiana. James Dillon is watching from Tennessee. And let's see, one more here. Tina Tobiasen is, she says pop. That's what we call it. Joan says grew up in Wisconsin and it was called pop. Exactly. But now I've lived in the Northeast for so long, I guess I got that liberal mentality and I call it soda. Somebody keeps asking, please talk about Ivanka Trump and what is going on there. So confused. Are you talking about the fact that she took the vaccine? I know that Ivanka Trump took the vaccine. Maybe that's what you're talking about, or maybe it's something else. But yes, she did take the vaccine. I don't know why she took it. That's up to her. Maybe she wants to encourage people so that they know that President Trump is the one who made it happen and that majority of people are safe from it. I don't know. I really don't care. When it comes to people taking the vaccine and people, want my opinion on it, I'm like, hey, cool. It's just like the masks. You want to wear it? Wear it. I don't care. Whatever. It's your thing. Whatever you want to do. So anyway, let's move on real quick. And I want to also thank, I have got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes over there, which I have no idea who sent them. A lot of people, if they buy something from like Amazon books or something like that and send them to me, or Christian books, there's no name on them. So if you are people who are sending me Bibles and books in order to inventory so that we can get this system going where we can get Bibles to every corner of the world, please at least let me know, or let the Amazon or whatever third-party company know is who it's coming from or who the bill is to go to, because it doesn't come in the boxes. So even though you might have told me on Telegram or Instagram or even an email and I haven't seen it yet that you're the one that sent them, I just don't have any way of knowing. So I have got so many Bibles for kids, which is amazing. Thank you so much. So many First Bibles. I've got a couple Jewish Bibles, which I'm sending out. I just tons and tons and tons of Bibles. Now, I just want to, first of all, you know that I love the fact that you guys are helping me get Bibles to people. Second of all, I want you to be a little bit patient with me here, because instead of asking people on lives right now, hey, do you need a Bible? Do you need a Bible? My wife and I are putting together a system, and we're working with the guy who does all of our website design and hosting and constant maintenance and changing of things to get a tab on there for people to sign up who need a Bible. Okay? And I also got a whole bunch of Jesus Calling books as well, and we're going to inventory them. And just like everything else, by the end of April, you're going to see a big change here on Live from America. And I know things are a little slow sometimes, but I just ask for your patience and your forgiveness as we work to get this done. Okay, guys? Thank you so very much. God bless. Let's see. Ingrid says, include a gift card from Amazon. They put it in the box. Maybe she's saying she included it. Make it an Amazon gift to include your name on the card. Oh, exactly. Thank you so very much for those ideas. All right, folks, we're going to move right into the verse of the day, and I think this verse of the day is super powerful. I think it's super powerful. I encourage you, if you have not done so yet, to like the video. Please copy the link and share it out to whatever social media you can, or even you can even send it in a text message, and we'll get as many eyeballs and eardrums on the show as possible. The verse of the day today comes from Matthew 6. Now, I've been having a lot of fun in John and Matthew lately. Those two books to me are just incredible. They really are. And I've read a lot of things in Matthew lately that I never seen before, and I was like, wow. Matthew 6:6, and this came to me from YouVersion this morning, so I looked into it and I read it prior to the verse and after the verse to see what was really going on here, what the context was. And it says this: "But when you pray, go into your private room, shut your door, and pray to your Father in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you." Okay? Now, I titled this, "You are invited to a very important meeting today." And that's basically what this is saying. It is God's way of saying you don't have to go through a priest. You don't have to go through a pastor. You don't have to go through a rabbi. And how many of you could actually go and meet your favorite movie star? How many of you could actually go meet your favorite athlete? How many of you could actually meet President Trump if you wanted to? Very few of us could do that. Very few of us have ever had a meeting with the people that we would love to have a meeting with. But you get to have a one-on-one meeting with God, the creator of all of those people, of all of the universe, whenever you want. This is a private invitation from God to tell you to go to a secret place or a quiet place and be very stern, be very direct, be very honest, and don't bumble and mumble your words like Joe Biden with a mask on. Be direct with God because he knows your desires. You don't have to sit there and say the same thing over and over again. You don't have to say some tired old thing over and over again. You can talk to God like he's a person. And the great thing about it is you get a one-on-one meeting with the creator of the universe whenever you want. So I decided to go into Matthew and read the context in which this was written. So what's going on here is that Jesus is basically putting the Pharisees on Front Street. And if you don't know what that means, he's basically saying, don't be like the Pharisees. The Pharisees like to stand up in synagogues or stand in the corners on the streets so that men and women can see them actually praying, so that they can get the attention. And they're doing it for the wrong reasons. He said, don't do it like that. Don't do it like that. Don't be like those hypocrites. Don't be like those attention seekers who need to do it in front of everybody. Instead, go in private. Go into a secret room, because those who go into private and have those private one-on-one meetings with God, and they do it with a humble and a sincere heart, those are the people that God rewards greatly. And he says, if you speak with him in secret, then he will reward you in public, in front of everybody. The opposite was what the Pharisees did. And I got to tell you, I have always made the comparison between the Pharisees of then and the Democrats of today. They're the same people. They are the same people who require the same kind of power, who require the same kind of praise that the Pharisees did. They wanted, remember Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats when they came down those stairs, all wearing those African scarves, and they got on their knees on the floor, and they all had little spots where they were supposed to put their knee down. That is the Pharisees. That's what they do. Instead, don't do that. You don't need that kind of attention. And going back to this, and by the way, I've been getting tons and tons of emails from a guy who's on this page for quite a while telling me about how I shouldn't pray and how I should pray and all this. I want to kind of reiterate here, because it says in Matthew 6:6 that you should go inside in secret and then pray. And then it says this, after this manner, therefore, pray ye. Meaning, after you do this, this is how you pray. And Jesus says, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. So we're going to do the Lord's Prayer here in a minute. But again, I don't remember an amendment to this speech that he gave to the disciples. I don't remember where it says this is not how you pray. So in Matthew 6:10, 6:9 through 6:14, Jesus says to do the Lord's Prayer. So that's what we're doing. That's what I love to do. And that's what we're going to continue to do right here on Live from America. So if you're with me, say it loud and proud so God can hear it. If not, and you want to be quiet and secretive, then go into a secret place and do it inside so the Spirit can hear it. Are you ready? Here we go. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Now, Don Ricardo says, Jeremy, our family sent you 4 Bibles through Amazon. I had asked for gift cards to be put in them. I hope you got the Bibles. Says they were delivered from the Ricardo family. It didn't have any of those in there, but I would like you to send me somehow your address and stuff so that I can send you back a card. Okay, because in every one of those books over there, or boxes that come from Amazon, not a single one of them have who they're from. And I'm like, oh, dang it. So, Dawn, if you could send me a Telegram or an Instagram message, it would be the fastest. But if you have to send it to me through email, just please say, we sent 4 Bibles in the caption so that I can find it quick, okay? Thank you so very much for your determination and your perseverance and your support in helping me make sure that Bibles get to everybody. Are we ready, ladies and gentlemen? Make sure that you read the scrolling text at the bottom. It contains the news of the day, and it contains how you can get a hold of me on any social media platform that I'm on currently, and it gives you addresses in which you can send things to me, okay? Tracy Haga says, Haga, kind of like MAGA, right? Says, I sent 2 Bibles yesterday. Thank you so very much, hon. I appreciate that. Okay, we're going to get into the first and foremost section of today, and that is the FBI is still continuing to raid the homes of Trump supporters. Yep, that's true. The FBI and the DOJ are continuing their fight to get rid of MAGA Americans, people like you and me who support the MAGA agenda, who support the America First agenda, who supported President Trump, who will continue to support President Trump, and who have hijacked and taken over the Republican Party as the world knew it and changed it from the GOP to the GNP. Yes, the Biden, FBI, and DOJ do not want you to exist. So what are they doing? They are harassing and continuing to raid the homes of people who happen to go watch President Trump speak on January 6th. Now, granted, most of the people that they are still raiding and bothering and harassing are people who decided that they would get onto the steps of the Capitol building or into the Capitol building. Thankfully, I was none of them, but I would not be surprised if I saw a little bit of a visit just because of the fact that I was in D.C. on that day, even though I left before all that stuff even happened. I wouldn't be surprised if I'll be seeing them too. Anyway, the FBI is still raiding these people's homes that were there on January 6th, including single mothers and also pregnant mothers. What kind of harm would they have caused, right? Meanwhile, BLM is out in the streets, burning, destroying, shooting, looting, killing, all that. That's fine. Going into Capitol buildings, that's fine. Going into state Capitol buildings, that's fine. They're not called insurrectionists. They're not called terrorists or anything like that. The FBI, the CIA, and the DOJ have about this much trust of the American people anyway. And if you ask me, you're the real terrorists. Moving on, one of the ladies' names here is Felicia, by Felicia, exactly, because she's about ready to go away. Unreal. Felicia Kanold, Kanold of Arizona. She was on a road trip with her children after a year ago getting into one of the worst car accidents. Basically, she almost died in a car accident. She was in a very bad car accident. It has taken her a long time to get back to acclimating to life and doing things fun and having that PTSD of that car accident and all that. She decided she was going to go on a trip. She was going to go on a road trip with her kids. While she was on her road trip, she had heard that President Trump was going to be speaking on January 6th in D.C. She decided to stop her road trip and make a detour to go and show her children what it was like to go to D.C. and listen to the President of the United States speak. So she did that. She went to D.C. Now, I don't know the specifics of if her kids were with her when she went to the Capitol building or not. However, I do know that this was all a decision that was made by her on the road trip that she was already on. So after getting back into society after taking this first vacation with her children, being all happy, not knowing that her life would change that day. She was with the crowd listening to President Trump speak, and then she decided to follow that crowd to the Capitol building. Once she was at the Capitol building, she walked right through the front doors because it had already been breached, and she said that they were literally letting people in, that the police were letting people in. She said she even greeted police on the way in, told them how much she had respected them and how much of a good job they were doing. They literally let her in. She walked right into the front door. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, I'll bet she didn't know it at that time, and who would have, but she is facing 30 years in prison. They have raided her house. They have disrespected her family. They have made her children afraid. And now they're probably going to take her away from her children for life. And you mean to tell me that that's justified? FBI? DOJ? From a concerned American who has God-given rights given to him by God, not you, and I know that makes you mad. I know it makes you so very mad that you don't have power over a sovereign American who lives from sea to shining sea, who got their rights and gifts from God. I know that makes you mad. I know it makes you mad that you think you can take them from everyone, but you can't, because Jesus will win in the end. Do you think it's justified to put a lady, a single mother of children, in jail for 30 years after she just walked through the Capitol building while police let her in? Meanwhile, you got people out in the streets destroying buildings, destroying businesses, getting free Nikes and shoes, shooting people, hurting people, ganging up on people, causing hate crimes against people that don't have the same skin color of theirs. And no, I'm not talking about the white supremacists and white nationalists that don't seem to exist. The funny thing about the left is they call Antifa an idea when really white supremacists and white nationalists are an idea. Again, they do something and blame it on somebody else. If you want to talk about who the idea is, it is the white supremacists and the white nationalists, because I don't see them out there destroying buildings, hurting people, murdering people, stealing things, and destroying livelihoods. Do you? Okay, so that's the first story. The second story here is another mother, okay? Another mother of four. Her name is Victoria White. She is a single mother of four who volunteered for the Trump victory campaign, which led her to be in Washington, D.C. on January 6th. Obviously, if she's part of a Trump victory campaign, she's working with that campaign, and she happens to be there. If you don't know who I'm talking about, you might have seen many, many videos of her when what looked to be like, to me, Antifa, pretending to be Trump supporters, which we found out later was true, breaking windows of the Capitol building. She was one in a red hat, MAGA hat, trying to stop them, screaming, "Do not break the windows, do not break the windows, do not break the windows." I've seen the videos. I'm sure you've seen the videos. You probably just don't remember them. But she was one saying, "Don't break the windows, don't break the windows." Her house has now been raided because they say that she took part in breaking the windows and that a police officer inside had to hold a shield up to keep her back and was shooting tear gas out and everything else. She is facing 55 years in prison. So between the two ladies, who are both single mothers, who both have probably never heard a fly in their life, probably have never heard a hair on anybody's head, between the two of them, they are facing 85 years in prison. Meanwhile, BLM and Antifa are allowed to run rampant through the streets. Do you think this is correct? I don't. And where is Kevin McCarthy? Where are the people on the right? Where are the politicians that are standing up for the people who are literally there to do their duty by the Constitution if they think that their government is out of control and totalitarian? Where are they? Cowards. 85 years in prison combined. And for what? And for what? That is the opening, first and foremost, section of the day today. Now, speaking of BLM and Antifa, I would like to give the first dum-dum away today, but guess what? It is not going to BLM and Antifa. Nope. Instead, yesterday, BLM and Antifa had a fight with a news organization. Now, this particular news organization has been taking it hard lately, and I mean taking it hard, from undercover videos to people pelting them with eggs and water bottles. CNN, the communist news network that is going down the drain, going down the toilet faster than an unwanted turd. I don't know where that came from. But anyway, CNN, BLM, and Antifa, all of them are going to get the Dum Dum Award of the day today, right here on Live from America. And you know, we got to throw it in the swamp donkey bucket. We got to, because that's what they all are. So I'm going to show you the first video footage of Antifa, BLM versus CNN. Who's going to win? Mortal Kombat. Ready? Fight. Let's roll that beautiful bean footage, shall we?
You don't got no trouble. No. We don't. It's all peace, baby. It's all peace. It's all peace.
Ooh.
Holy shit.
You mean,
A bomb of water knocked you out?
this nigga fighting for the world.
Do it.
This nigga fighting for the world. Do we have a meeting? Do we have a meeting? He's a manager. I want to make sure that everything is okay.
Crack this little shit. Not time.
Hey, no, this white man need a medic. We need a white man right there. The cop right there need a medic. We need a medic. Pass the fuck out of 6.
So what you're seeing here is a CNN crew member being hit in the head with a full bottle of water, knocked him down, and now you're seeing the camera crew and the reporters trying to sit there and stand up for what they're there for and trying to make peace with BLM. But there is no peace when it comes to people who are this ignorant as a group.
Yeah. Make sure he's fine. It's all good, people. Don't worry. Are you good? It's all good.
Okay, now let's scroll down and let's watch them be chased out of the area while eggs are thrown at them. And that poor guy who got hit in the head, he ends up walking into a car door with his head again.
I want to follow suit. That's a white man. Who is that? What do you do? What do you do? Fuck out. Fuck out of here.
What's up?
Sorry for the language, folks. Forgot about that. Oh, there go the eggs. Now watch this guy get hit in the head again. Watch, here he goes. Oh! Sorry for the language, folks.
Tyler, what'd they do?
CNN being some bitches, so they're getting stuff.
Now their whole car is getting pelted with eggs. Ooh! Ooh! And they hit a car on the way out. Hit and run.
What the hell?
Holy shit.
And there you go, guys. There you go. BLM versus CNN. And Conrad had it right. It's not Mortal Kombat. It's Moron Combat. Doom, 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 doom. They better go and get Nancy Pelosi because she is a street fighter. You mix Street Fighter with Moron Combat and you get a whole heck of a lot of laughs. Long story short, ladies and gentlemen, should we be laughing at these people that got their, eggs thrown at them and got water bottles thrown at them and hit in the head and physical assaulted? No, we shouldn't. That's not right. But it is hard not to smile a little bit out of the corner of your mouth when you hear that it was CNN versus BLM. And when CNN loses the allure and the teamwork and the partnership with BLM, then what does CNN have left? Especially after days and days and days of undercover video being released from Project Veritas about how they lied about this, lied about that, lied about Trump, lied about the virus, lied about climate change, and more and more and more. Do you feel bad? Nope. Not really, but it is funny to see BLM versus CNN. So, we had to give a Dum Dum Award. Now, this is followed up by another Dum Dum Award of the day. Now, this Dum Dum I've never given to this guy. Never given to this guy. Ever. Okay? For years and years and years and years, this guy has been at the center of controversy. I remember back when he had his own talk show in the early 90s, and they had the Klan on there, and he got hit in the head with a folding chair or something like that. This was back in the 90s, okay? Herrell Rivera. This guy is a 70-year-old piece of work. For 50 years, he's been causing trouble and trying to be that liberal, bleeding heart, crying tear journalist, and he's really not. He's really not. He's nothing but a troublemaker. So, Herrell is actually going to get the next Dum Dum Award of the day today, and I'll tell you why. Because he had an all-out verbal battle with Dan Bongino on Sean Hannity's show. Now, I'm sure most of you have seen this before. I'm sure most of you watch Sean Hannity, and maybe you don't. I don't watch Fox News. I don't watch any of them. I catch clips here and there, and I look into it, and I go, okay, that's funny. We'll put that on there. But the reason I'm putting this on here is because I'm not going to play you the full 11-minute video of Dan Bongino and Herrell going at it. But I will play you the last 1 minute and 17 seconds. And the reason I'm showing you this video is because what Dan Bongino does to Herrell Rivera is exactly what the new Republican Party has been doing and will continue to do, and that is President Trump's legacy, which is stand up and do not allow the Democrat Party to continue to run over you, defame your character, dox your family, destroy your livelihood, and you know what? Enough is enough. And like I said the other day, the words like racist, bigot, and all that, once those go out the window, once those cards cannot be played by the left anymore, they're not going to be able to run on success or a track record. Why? Because they don't have any. That is why. Their entire success depends on their ability to shame you into silence. No longer. And that is President Trump's legacy. And that is part of the best is yet to come. So let me give you an example of the best is yet to come by playing you exactly this clip right here. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Bongino getting Herrell Rivera all worked up by standing up against him and not allowing him to do what the left does. Here we go.
People like Herrell continue to pump out a race narrative with no data to back it up at all. There are hundreds of thousands of police officers and millions of police contacts with black Americans in the course of each day. If there was a plague of police officers hunting black men down at night, then I don't understand if that's happening. Where is all this massive body count we would see?
This man,
He's
Sean, this man is why they have that rage.
This
man with this baloney.
He doesn't know anything about that woman. He doesn't know anything about that woman. Anything. He's injecting race into the argument because he has nothing else. That's why.
You tell that to the black families that see their sons being killed.
That's all you
twice
got.
The rate
you
of
got
white
nothing else,
sons.
buddy.
That's
got nothing else.
That's a fact.
You've got nothing.
That's the fact.
All you want to do is
fact.
see the country
that
burn. You just want to see the country burn. That's it.
I want to see the country burn. You son of a bitch. I want to see the country burn. You punk. You're nothing but a punk. Yeah. You're a punk, Bongino. You're a punk.
You wouldn't tell me that to my face.
We'll leave it there. Coming up, the left continues to sow.
Dan Bongino says, you wouldn't tell me that to my face. He says, you're a punk. You're nothing but a punk. And Dan Bongino says, you wouldn't tell me that to my face, with a half crooked smile. That is what I love about Dan Bongino. That is what I love about President Trump's legacy. That is what I love about people like Ron DeSantis, people like myself. We're not taking this anymore. And I'm sure most of you are the same way. You are all action item determined Americans, and you're not going to let somebody talk to you that way. What Herrell was trying to do, if you go to that specific clip is on the Gateway Pundit. If you go to the Gateway Pundit and go to that story, it'll show you like 3 clips, all separate clips. And if you go to what happened before that, you'll see that Geraldo just would not let Dan Bongino speak. Every time Dan Bongino went to speak, Geraldo would just talk over him. And Dan Bongino would just sit there like this. And finally he said, you know what? No, I've had enough. I've had enough. He's like, you need to control yourself. You're a 70-year-old man. You need to control yourself. You know nothing about what you're talking about. All you care about is race, race, race. And he just went at him. He went at his neck, full throttle. He went in for the kill. And what happened was, Geraldo didn't know how to take that because Geraldo is from the left and he's allowed to use racism as a way to keep him on a pedestal. But Dan Bongino wasn't having it. And that was why the other day when you seen me call the Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston, that I let that lady go. I let her go until I seen what she was trying to do. And she was trying to do a tactic much like Geraldo was trying to do there. Now, I don't know who lost that fight, Geraldo or his mustache. But either way, I think Dan Bongino had a fatality right there, and he definitely won with a flawless victory. Good on you, Dan Bongino. Continue to keep standing up and continue to... Courage is contagious, right? When people like me see that, that gives me more courage to stand up against these people. And you can stand up to people and you can be stern and you can be honest. You can even get angry. Jesus did. Jesus got angry at the Pharisees all the time. You can be this person. Jesus even flipped over people's tables, okay? But you don't have to go completely rude. If you just got to stand up for what's right. You got to stand up for what's right, and you got to stand up for those who can't stand up for themselves. And that is what it's all about. So God bless you, Dan Bongino. Thank you very much. Geraldo, bum, bum, ba, bum. You punk. You punk. Dan Bongino says, yeah, okay, whatever. I bet you wouldn't say that to my face. Share the video right now, folks. That deserves a share, don't it? It takes 5 seconds. Just get it out there, will you? All right, moving on to some more dum-dums. Jerry Nadler from New York. You know, I don't have a nickname for Jerry Nadler. I don't. I need to get a nickname for Jerry Nadler. Let's work on that one together. Jerry Nadler of New York, who, by the way, crapped his pants in the... We talk about Eric Fartwell all the time. Jerry Nadler actually let one go. Couldn't keep it in. Actually crapped his pants during a hearing and had to be removed. So Jerry Nadler, who craps his pants. Hank Johnson from Georgia. Now, do you remember this guy? Hank Johnson was the guy that told you that Guam was going to tip over if you put too many soldiers on one side of it. And he was serious. That's not a joke. He literally said that an island would tip over if we deployed troops to that island and put them all on one side of the island. It would flip over. That's what he said. So you got Mr. Poop Pants. Oh, Poopy. Mr. Poopy Pants. You got Hank Johnson, who thought the island was going to tip over. And you got Mondaire Jones, who's from New York. And you got Ed Markey, who's actually from the Senate. And he's from Massachusetts. Okay? They're putting forth a bill called the Judiciary Act of 2021. Now, this is a court-packing bill. You've been hearing about it the last 3 days. You've seen Jim Jordan go off on it. You've seen other Republicans come on and go off on it. And the funny thing about these Republicans, and you know what? I love Jim Jordan. Don't get me wrong. I really do. But I am so... Are you with me here? I am so sick and tired of hearing the same old dog and pony show dance from politicians. Well, it's incredibly dangerous to... It's the same stuff over and over again. Can we hear something a little different? Can we hear a little bit of a different point of view on the court packing rather than the same old tired politically correct political narrative coming from the right? Well, it's incredibly dangerous, and they shouldn't have said this, and they shouldn't have said that, and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. It's the same stuff. I could pretty much tell you word for word what they're going to say every single time. Let's just call it how it is, okay? The Democrats want a court pack, period. They want to put 4 Supreme Court judges on there because right now they're down 6-3. If they put 4 on there and they get to put all 4 liberal judges in the next 2 years or whatever, then they will be winning 7-6. And we will have 13 judges on the Supreme Court. Now, can this be done? Yes. In the Constitution, it is not rooted anywhere in the Constitution that says how many Supreme Court judges you have to have. We used to have less, okay? Franklin Roosevelt wanted to get it up to 15 back in the early 1900s, okay? But that didn't work out so well for him because you got to get it through Congress. Here's the thing, okay? Can this be done? Yes. Can the Democrats do this? They could. Doesn't matter how many they put on. No, they could put on 50 if they wanted to. Here's the thing. Filibuster. It all comes down to the filibuster. They cannot ram this through without doing one of two things. Either getting 60 votes in the Senate, because all they need in the House is a simple majority for this. Okay? It's all they need in the House is a simple majority for this. So I'm breaking down to you how this is going to happen for some of you who just don't know. In the House, it'll pass. They just need a simple majority. They got that. They don't have much of a majority, but they got it right now. It'll pass. Period. Gets to the Senate, they need 60 votes. They need 60 votes. Filibuster's still in place. So they either get 60 votes to push it through so that Joe Biden can sign whatever he thinks he's signing, give him a colored crayon, tell him to color inside the lines. He's all good. All right? Or, ladies and gentlemen, they do the nuclear option, which is get rid of the filibuster so they just need a tiebreaker, which Kamala Harris would be the tiebreaker. All comes down to the filibuster. They cannot get this through without getting rid of the filibuster. Same thing with H.R. 1, that disastrous bill that would federalize our elections and take the power away from the states. Again, cannot get this done without getting rid of the filibuster. Now, this is the amazing way that God works. Are you ready for this? God works in such ways, if you know anything about the Bible whatsoever, and I'm sure most of you out there probably know more about it than I do, but if you know anything about the Bible, God is very consistent on everything he always does. And the one thing that I've noticed that he definitely is consistent on is using the most unlikely people to accomplish some of the most impossible looking tasks. Look at Paul. Paul used to be named Saul, right? Hated Christians, persecuted Christians, murdered Christians, was hired basically and tasked to hunt Christians down and kill them, and became one of the most biggest of Jesus followers and wrote most of the New Testament. He uses the most unlikely people to accomplish the most impossible looking things. What am I talking about? Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema. If you would have asked me, or if I would have asked you 2 years ago, if the Democrats get power of all branches of government and they go to do court packing and federalize the elections, who do you think is most likely to stop it? You would have said somebody like, yes, and you're exactly right, Lori. Lori says King David, Moses. Exactly. The list goes on and on and on and on. You would have said somebody like Ted Cruz. You would have said somebody like Jim Jordan. You would have said somebody like Trey Gowdy. You would have not said that it would have been two Democrats from Arizona and from West Virginia. However, ladies and gentlemen, the entire country's history, present, and future relies right now on two Democrats who have come out and staunchly said, very, very sternly and very direct, we are not getting rid of the filibuster. And if these two continue to hold their stance on the filibuster, they will be the two people that save America for your children, for your grandchildren, for your great-grandchildren, for you, and for everyone else. Not a single person here would have ever imagined that it would be Democrats. And it is. And it is. That is the crazy part here. Now, Trump, in my opinion, and maybe he doesn't want to do this because he doesn't want to bring a lot of attention on them, but I think that's exactly what Trump should do. Trump should commend publicly Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin. Now, you might say, well, why would he do that? That's just going to put more attention on them, and the left is going to attack them more, and the left is going to alienate them, and they're going to basically get rid of them as Democrats. They're probably going to censure them or something like that. But here's the thing: politicians love praise. They just do. I don't care if they're on the right or the left. They love praise. And can you tell me right now that you don't think that people like Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin secretly would love if President Trump put out a statement about them that was positive? They would love that. Also, it would be the first step and getting them to our side, because they're very close, ladies and gentlemen, because their party has left them, not the other way around. It would be that first step to bring them to our side. So until President Trump decides to do something like that, this is up to you and I to continue to let them know what kind of support they have from us. So before I do anything else, let's call one of their offices right now. We called Kirsten Sinema on air before, but we have never called Joe Manchin on air before. Let's do that right now, and let's let them know exactly what we feel of their positions.
Hello, this is Joe Manchin. Thank you for calling my office. During this time, my staff is teleworking. However, we are constantly checking voicemails and will respond to you as soon as possible. Please leave your name, address, number, and a brief message, and we will get back to you shortly. Thank you, and have a great day.
Hello, Joe Manchin. My name is Jeremy Herrell. I am from the Live Free or Die state of New Hampshire. I run a pretty popular show online called Live from America, and me and my audience just want to let you know from the bottom of our red, white, and blue hearts that we completely support your decision to uphold the traditions and the Constitution of the United States of America. We want to let you know that we know how incredibly hard it is for you to be a Democrat, but still stand up for the rules and not just let them apply to different people when they want power. We want to thank you so very much for standing strong and firm on the filibuster, because you at least have the common sense to know that sooner or later that the Democrats are going to be the ones on the bottom side of power, and you don't want that to affect you, your constituents, or your party when that time comes. We know you're taking it hard from your party right now. We know you're taking it hard from the left, but we want to let you know that there's always room for you in the Republican Party. We respect what you're doing right now, and there's millions and millions of people that will be willing and ready to embrace you if the left continues to demonize you. And we just want to say thank you again from Live from America, from the bottom of our hearts. Once again, this is Jeremy Herrell, and God bless you, sir, and continue to fight for what's right in America. Thank you so very much for your courage. Courage is contagious, sir. Thank you. God bless. And that's what we do, folks. It's as simple as that. Let me have a little bit of a slurp here, shall we? Backbone right there. Backbone that gentleman is showing. I don't agree with a lot of things that man has said before. 100%. There's a million things that I can't stand about Joe Manchin's policies. Not about him as a person, but his policies. But that right there, if he gets thousands and thousands, scratch that. If he gets millions of phone calls like that, then, ladies and gentlemen, it makes all the difference in the world, and it will save our country. It will save our country. Now, let me give you the number, and I will actually put it in the thread, in the comment thread right now. It is 202-224-3954. Again, that is 202-224-3954. That is the number to Joe Manchin's Washington, D.C. office. You can also look up his office in his home state and call there as well. So I know you guys have all called, and I'm very, very happy that you have. But we need to continue to call. They need to get these not just for a day or two or a week. They need to get them week after week. Why? Because the left is relentless, and they will never stop after a day from calling them out for them not falling in line. Okay? This is where we help save this country. And who would have ever thought that it would be on the shoulders of two Democrats? Woo! All right, ladies and gentlemen, moving on. We are going to give the first Smarty Award of the day today. So let's pull up that beautiful sound. Smarties. There we go, right into the Smarty bucket. This is going to go to South Carolina. Oh, wait, you know what? We're going to have to do the Smarty Award over again. I forgot. There's something I need to show you. There is something that I need to show you. So give me 1 second. Let me fit this to the screen so you can see this. This is Resident Corn Pop. Throwback video to Resident Corn Pop talking about packing the Supreme Court. Let's listen to this real quick.
And remember this old adage about power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. corrupted by power, in my view, unveiled his court-packing plan. He wanted to increase the number of justices to 15, allowing himself to nominate those additional judges. It took an act of courage on the part of his own party institutionally to stand up against this power grab.
There you go.
Remember this old adage about
there you go.
Power corrupts and absolute power.
Yeah, we're done, Joe. We don't need to hear you anymore. But there you go, guys, right there. Joe Hairy Legs Joe Biden himself, huh? He actually is against court packing. And there he said, in his own words, he says it's a power grab, and he says that it's something that he opposes. And if it's a power grab and something that he opposes, then you must think to yourself, well, then why are you for it now, Joe? It's the same reason that I just explained. They want it when it suits them, and when it doesn't suit them anymore, they're going to be screwed. So anyway, going back to the Smarty Award, South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster and South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem. Now, I know Kristi Noem's been getting a lot of flack lately. I understand that 100%. But again, I've explained to you that the reason why she made the decision not to go along and just sign that transgender bill was because she was afraid of the backlash that was going to happen to her people in her state and the money they would lose from people like the NCAA and others threatening to boycott. But again, Kristi, I think that's where you need to make your stand. Die on that hill. They will go broke before you do. And the saying goes, get woke, go broke. Look at Coca-Cola. Okay, but anyway, that's not what we're giving them the Smarty Award for today. We're giving them the Smarty Award today because both of these states, South Dakota and South Carolina, have now joined in with the group of other governors who are saying to the Biden residency, no illegal immigrant children will be dumped in our states. Our child welfare programs are already to the max. Our occupancy levels of people in facilities are to the max. And besides that, even if they weren't to the max, we do not have the resources to take from our taxpayers to give to illegal aliens to get a free ride in our country, in our state. I don't care what the circumstance is. We are definitely Christians, but we need to look out for our own that's crumbling and getting destroyed before we can help others. That's the way we're looking at it. We're not heartless people, but these people are illegally here to begin with. So, South Dakota Governor McMaster South Carolina Governor McMaster and South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem have joined the list of saying, nope, you will not be sending illegal children to our state. Now, the greatest part about them saying this was Kristi Noem's statement. Let me bring it up for you on the screen so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Here's what she says. South Dakota won't be taking any illegal immigrants that the Biden administration wants to relocate. My message to illegal aliens, call me when you're an American. That's incredible. Call me when you're an American. And then we'll think about it. That right there gave me a laugh this morning and made me go, okay, all right. There's that South Dakota grit that we've all come to know and love from Kristi Noem. Call me when you're an American. What a statement right there. Gotta love her. She might have some decisions that you might not like, that I might not like. I get it. But you know what? No one's 100% perfect, and none of us agree 100%. I can guarantee you that. So great job, Kristi Noem. Great statement, and way to put it out there to say, hey, we're holding the line, baby. All right. Let's move on to Liz Cheney. Oh, my Lanta. Liz Cheney comes out yesterday with Neil Cavuto. Now, I won't play you the video. I don't want to see her talk, so we're not going to play the video. But Liz Cheney comes out on Neil Cavuto's show yesterday, and she says the following. I have made it clear on how I feel about President Trump on January 6th, and I will not vote for Trump. She didn't call him president. She didn't even have the decency to call him former president. Well, because he's not really. But she didn't have the decency to even use the term president. And she says, quote, I will not vote for Trump if he runs again. Nobody cares. Especially not President Donald J. Trump, because President Donald J. Trump wasted no time to come out with a response to her on Neil Cavuto saying that she wasn't going to vote for President Trump again. Crickets. Nobody cares. And says this, great news for the Republican Party. Senator Lisa Murkowski said that she is still weighing whether she will run again for the Senate in Alaska. By the way, she's trailing big time against her opponent up there right now in the polls. He says, in other words, there's a chance that she won't run. Wouldn't that be great? And so many people are looking to run against crazy Liz Cheney. Liz Crazy, that should be her name. Crazy Liz Cheney. He says, but we only want one. She is so far down in Wyoming polls that the only way she can win is numerous candidates running against her and splitting the vote. Hopefully that won't happen. I will make an endorsement soon. Boom. The man has spoken. Crazy Liz Cheney. We're going to find one person in the state of Wyoming to run against you. There will be no splitting the vote. President Trump will endorse that person. And then you can go visit your father in whatever retirement home he's living in, pretending that he's still running the country, pretending that he's still a warmonger, and pretending that he's still causing trillions of dollars and taking tens of thousands of lives. And you can sit there together and play chess and talk about your strategic move to get back into politics, which will never happen. You've ruined your career. You should have never spoke sideways out the corner of your mouth, and now your career is over. Thank you, President Trump. Thank you so very much. This is all part of the best is yet to come. Now, I want to speak to you real quick about something that I'm a big fan of and something that I know a lot about, probably even more than politics, and that is the world of MMA, the UFC, Dana White, and the rest of those great entrepreneurs over there at the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Now, I've been a big, huge UFC fan even before Dana White was even in the picture. Back when there were no rules, there were no rounds, there were no time limits, and there were no weight limits. That's back when I was watching it. Then Dana White got the company in, I think it was early 2000s. And since then, him and the Fertitta brothers bought the UFC for $2.2 million, ended up selling the UFC a couple years ago for $4.2 billion, and Dana White stayed on as president, and he got like $150 million from the sale for his ownership in the company, and now he's still the president of the UFC. Big Trump supporter, spoke at the RNC 2 or 3 times, always endorsing President Trump, invites President Trump to the UFC constantly. It's just a great relationship that these two have. Well, that doesn't just stop with Dana White. There are so many athletes in the UFC who love President Trump. I'm talking about from white to Latino to black. You got people like Colby Covington, who you already know is a huge Donald Trump fan and been to the Oval Office and presented Donald Trump the UFC belt and all of that. You have Jorge Masvidal from Miami, Latino, Cuban. Wonderful fighter, amazing guy. Love Jorge Masvidal, big Trump supporter. Kamaru Usman, who's a champion right now, who's from Africa originally, and he is black, loves President Trump. You have so many people in the UFC who love and work with President Trump on all the time, okay? Rose Namajunas, I don't know if you know her, but she's a strawweight fighter in the women's division. She was a 2-time former champion, and she's not the champion currently right now. However, she is facing the current champion, whose name is Zhang Weili. Zhang Weili is the first champion from China. Now, Zhang Weili loves the CCP and loves communism. She fights for the CCP. Rose Namajunas is a Lithuanian American, and she knows what communism is. She knows what communism is, and definitely from her stories from her grandparents as well. And Rose Namajunas is also a fan of President Trump, and she made a statement about Zhang Weili the other day. She said she fights for communism. I fight for freedom. She goes, when I'm in this cage with fighting for this belt against Zhang Weili, who's, by the way, a beast in the octagon, she said, I will be fighting against communism and I will be fighting for freedom. And then she said this, better to be dead than red, meaning the color of communism like Russia and China. Better to be dead than red. Well, folks, she took a lot of heat from the left who love communism, who love socialism, who do not like capitalism, and who do not like the freedoms that you enjoy given to you by God in the United States of America. She took a ton of flack on her Instagram, on Twitter, and many other places. You would have thought that she, like most athletes, would end up caving, like Drew Brees did when Drew Brees stood up for President Trump and then caved. Okay? Well, she did not cave. Matter of fact, she came back out and said, I will stand by my statements. Communism is the worst thing on this planet, and I will think of nothing more than how to defeat communism in that octagon on April 24th against CCP fighter Zhang Weili. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Great job, Rose Namajunas. I love you. I love your family. Your husband's great. He trains you. You got a great system going on there. You understand what communism is because of your family's heritage. And I just want to say thank you for standing up for the red, white, and blue and standing up against communism. Okay? I see a bunch of people talking to a girl named Nikki in here. It looks like Nikki must be one of those people who put the thumb down on the video.
Nobody cares.
But I want to thank you for the view, Nikki. I want to thank you for you being in here. And you know what? God always brings people to places that they don't understand why, but he brought you here for a reason. So, Nikki, love you. God bless you. We'll pray for you, and you should thank God and pray to him as soon as this video is over that he brought you here for something that you should and can learn from this show. God bless you, dear. Love you. One last thing before we go. The left right now is freaking out over Mike Lindell's social media network Frank speech that's coming out. They're freaking out for a big reason. Why? Because Mike Lindell had made a big statement. What, 2 months ago? No, a month ago, he made a big statement. He said what? President Trump would be back in the White House by August. That's what he said. Everybody like Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, Stephen Colbert, Don Lemon, Trevor Noah, and all the nighttime pundits made jokes about it. Saturday Night Live made jokes about it. Said he's crazy, said he's crazy, said he's crazy. Okay? I don't think he's so crazy, ladies and gentlemen, because he spent $20 million building Frank's speech. He spent double that hiring teams of former government officials and security teams and IT teams to build his own investigation into the potential hacking into 2020 from China and from those people who own those machines. He spent tens of millions of dollars. Now, he put out that one documentary that got him banned everywhere. His new documentary called Absolute Interference is not only going to show you all of the stuff that backs up all of the claims that we already know, but he said he's got tons and tons of irrefutable evidence that even if somebody were to say before watching this, I don't believe Mike Lindell, he says that after they watch this, there'll be nothing that they can say. And he said, and then I don't know what's going to happen. Then it literally gets into criminal activity at that point. Like, people need to be put away for criminal activity. He goes, we got all the proof. We got it all. And that is why he built this social media platform in order to get this kind of stuff out there, because you couldn't get it out there anywhere else. So Steve Bannon took him to task earlier this morning, and he said, okay, Mike, okay. He says, so you're mean to tell me that you're just going to give us all the same stuff that we already know? He goes, nope. I'm going to give you the proof of the stuff that we already know, and I'm going to give you tons of stuff over the next week that you've never seen before, that the country's never seen before, and that the Democrats truly do want to stop. Well, I didn't really believe that until I started seeing Adam Schiff and many, many others go out on talk show over this morning and yesterday saying, you know what, I think China might have interfered in our elections. Why? Because they know what Mike Lindell's getting ready to put out. They want to make it appear that they're on top of this, and they were all about Russia, Russia, Russia. We're trying to push war with Russia. We're saying Russia was the one that did the solar wind hack, and right now Biden's trying to do anything he can to sanction Russia. Meanwhile, it's China. You know it, I know it, Lindell knows it, and everybody knows it. And apparently, he has all the proof to show it was China and Dominion working together. And he said it's so bad. It's so bad that even if I'm sitting here just telling you that there's nothing, somebody has to do something about it, he goes, it's not partisan. It's so bad that partisan politics won't even be able to stop it. So I cannot wait for whatever it is that Mike Lindell has to show us. And he wants you to make sure that you don't even have to sign up early. If you want to wait until Monday the 19th, 9 a.m., when it drops for everybody, wait till then and sign up. But over the course of the weekend, and definitely on Monday when he opens it up, you're going to see things he said you've never seen before. And this man has spent tens of millions of dollars on his own money. And you ask, well, why would he do this? Why would he put his career? He was a crackhead at one point. Why would he put his career, his billion-dollar career, owning this company and everything else on the line for all of this if it's not really what he says it is? If it's just some, that wasn't much, his career would be over. Everything would be over. Why would he do that? Because he knows what he has is another thing that's going to help save the country. And like I said earlier, who would have thought that Democrats would be the ones that save this country? Who would have thought that an ex-crackhead who now has a walk with Jesus would be the one involved in saving this country? I think whatever Mike Lindell has and whatever he's working on is going to show the world exactly what we've been up against and exactly how we've been duped. So the left is freaking out. And even Adam Schiff had to go out this morning and say, you know what? I think China might have had some kind of interference in our election. Oh, really? Pencil neck Schiff? You have been saying how it's been Russia, 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 Trump, Trump, Trump. It's really odd. Don't you think it's ironic that Adam Schiff, of all people, is now coming out saying that China might have had something to do with it before Frank's speech drops? So check it out, guys. Make sure you sign up because I'm going to be there. And you're going to be seeing a lot of live videos from me there when the live streaming happens a couple weeks after we all sign up. All right, so God bless you guys. Thank you very much for joining in. Remember, there are brand new shirts at jeremyherrell.com online. Why be a dum-dum when you can be a smarty with a donkey and a donkey and an elephant? Those are great shirts. And we even got one that looks a lot like this cup that you see here. So make sure you check that out at jeremyherrell.com. Sign up for the newsletter so that you never lose track of me if something does happen. That's why I want you to follow me on all those social media sites down there as well. Okay? And also, please consider becoming a monthly donor because we are growing at a very fast rate and where we're going is going to take some help. So I thank you guys all very much for having this show be completely viewer funded for all the gifts that you send me. And remember, there are right ways, there are wrong ways, but there's only one Yahweh, so stand up tall. Keep your shoulders back, keep your chest out, and keep your head up high, because you are a child of God, and no weapon formed against you will ever, ever prosper. I will see you tonight at 5 p.m. Eastern Time for more Live from America with your favorite host, Jeremy Herrell, the Hip Hop Patriot. All right? God bless you guys. Reach one, teach one, see if you can help somebody today, and stay safe, all right? See you later.